What's up, guys? It's Jake checking in. I'm in day 10 of quarantine, so 4 or 5 days left, and I'm getting a little restless, I'll have to say. Haven't been doing any frequent updates or anything because I've literally just been sitting in here in this apartment, either working or studying Polish. That's pretty much it. So wanted to give a quick update on my language learning progress so far after week 1, and then a breakthrough that I found studying yesterday. So for the first week, I have been strictly studying with Mango. I haven't really been diving into any other resources like YouTube or any other language learning apps. I wanted to kind of keep it to one thing at the beginning to kind of see what kind of progress I would get with this particular app. And also, I feel like every single time that I start something new, whether it's working out or a new hobby or language learning, at the beginning you always have a ton of motivation and you're trying to find every single resource that you can to get a good start, and sometimes it's almost to your detriment. You kind of dive in super intense at the beginning and then burn yourself out pretty quick. So sticking with this one app has kind of helped me dial it back just a little bit. I studied every single day for at least 30 minutes to an hour. It's still day by day keeping me engaged and wanting to come back the next day ready to study again. So that's the approach I've taken so far. It's been working pretty well. I took inventory, so to speak, on Thursday to kind of see what I had learned. Just kind of racked my brain for every single thing that I've learned on the app so far and came up with about 50 or so words and phrases that I learned over the first week, which averages about 8 words per day, which is a pretty moderate pace. But like I said, wanted to keep it steady and keep moving forward. So the one thing that I've noticed so far with the app is that I've had a really high retention rate with everything that I've learned. There's daily quizzes to kind of recapture everything that you've done in the days prior and making sure that you're solidifying that stuff in your memory. And pretty much every single day with those quizzes, out of 20 or 25 phrases, I can usually get either all of them or just miss a handful, a couple. So I thought that's been pretty good. With each lesson, it's been a little bit repetitive, but I think that kind of fuels the high retention rate. The more reps that you get, the better you're going to remember things. And so I think those things, like I said, kind of ties back into pacing a little bit. So overall, pretty good. But with those high reps, they've definitely correlated to the high retention rate, like I mentioned. So after 1 week, I've gotten through chapters 1 through 3 out of 10. So once I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm making pretty good progress here. I'm over a quarter of the way done with the Polish language unit on Mango. But come to find out a little bit later, I checked into the coming chapters 4, 5, and so on, and it looks like they get a little bit longer as you go. So it's kind of bad in that I'm not going to finish all 10 chapters quite as quickly, but on the other hand, it just means that we're going to go into more depth and there's more content there for me to learn. So it's going to take me a little bit further and a little bit longer, but that's okay. So there's 4 main categories of interactions that I got through after week 1. 4 being basic introductions or interactions like good morning, good day, see you later, thank you, excuse me, those sorts of things. The second being talking about the weather, pretty common basic interaction conversation topic. And then third, introductions. So being able to say, hi, my name's Jake, what's your name? And then also being able to talk about your language ability. So do you speak English, or do you speak Polish? I speak a little bit of Polish, or I speak a little bit of English. And so that should be able to get me through most of my basic conversations in stores and shops and that sort of thing. So I want to talk a little bit about the breakthrough that I came across the other day while I was learning that got me pretty stoked and will hopefully help me advance a little bit quicker. So I was already discouraged from the beginning because of the tough pronunciation of Polish, and also written text. When you see the letter Z, it's the most common in Polish text. So that's super discouraging right off the bat because it's way different than English. And then I learned a little bit later that every noun and every adjective has to be conjugated. And so those two put together are pretty tough and a lot different from English. But the breakthrough that I came across is that you can turn almost every noun into an adjective by just adding a ending to each word. So for a masculine noun, it's ove, O-W-V-Y. And then for a feminine noun, it is O-V-A, ova. And so just right there, as long as you know the noun, you can add a ton of other words and descriptors to your vocabulary. So looking for patterns and kind of shortcuts like that when learning a language definitely helps speed up the process a little bit. I found similar things when I was learning Spanish. There's certain patterns, like certain word endings in English that translate to a word ending in Spanish that's the same almost every single time. So for example, the word city in English is ciudad in Spanish. So the ity ending is a dad, dad in Spanish. So city, ciudad. If you do quality, calidad, so that ity translates. And once you kind of get familiar with the patterns, you can start picking up words. Even before you've seen them and learned them, you can just kind of translate right across by educated guesses. So finding those shortcuts is critical, and I'm super pumped that I found that because it's just something to keep the motivation going, and those little wins are going to give you the encouragement to keep going forward. So that's all I've got for today. At the end of the week, I'm going to finally get out of this apartment and go explore, so we'll see you then.